Hi and welcome to Love Doing Yoga on this Monday afternoon. Hope you had a lovely weekend and you're looking forward to a nice week ahead. Our theme today is revive. So let's use our practice to really re-energize and get our bodies moving, awake and fully revived. As always, throughout the practice, listen to your body and only do what feels right for you today. So let us begin by lying down. Making yourself nice and comfortable on your mat. Closing your eyes. Leaving your day and your world outside the door as you move into this present moment. Where all you need to do is connect with your body and your mind. Let your awareness go to the base of your spine. Notice how it feels against the mat. Direct your breath towards this area. And then moving that awareness on upwards to your navel area. Again, just noticing how it feels. Noticing how your belly expands with your breath. And following the flow of energy up your body, letting your attention now rest at the base of your sternum. And again, noticing how it interacts with your breath. Noticing any sensations here. Traveling on up now to your heart area. Just being aware of how it feels. And then continuing on upwards to the base of your throat where your collarbones meet. Again, just noticing as your breath travels through this location. And following that energy line on upwards, going to that point between your eyebrows. Finding a stillness here in the energy, a calm. And then letting that awareness go to the crown of your head. And just imagine your energy running from the base of your spine through all of those points to the crown of your head and back again. Circulating through your body, providing you with that energy. And with your attention on your breath, inhaling as you expand your belly to the count of 4, holding, and then exhaling for a longer, maybe twice as long as your inhale. And with that exhale, just imagining that you're exhaling through the base of your throat, through a hole there, as you just practice your victorious breath or your yogi breath. And letting that sound be a force for calm throughout your practice. And then bending your knees, just hugging those knees into the chest, taking a little bit of movement here to just start to waken up the spine. And then as you come to stillness, letting the arms come down by your sides as you start to pedal. Just cycling those legs, starting to get them to warm up, keeping it going for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Hugging those knees into the chest. And then letting that right foot come down onto the mat. Just cross the left leg over the thigh of the right, having your ankle proud of your thigh. And then lifting up that right foot, keeping both feet flexed. And if you like, clasping your hands behind your right thigh. Softening your shoulders. Releasing your jaw. And taking 3 breaths here. Just easing your legs into the practice, starting to waken them up a little bit with a stretch. And then letting that right leg come down as you take that over to the other side. Lifting up that left leg, clasping your hands behind your thigh. Releasing the shoulders down towards the mat in a nice soft way. Releasing the jaws, keeping both feet flexed. And once again going to your breath as you take 3 more breaths here. Just feeling that nice stretch in the right leg, particularly the outside edge of the right leg. And then releasing the foot down onto the mat. Both feet down. And rolling over onto your side, coming up to sit. And as we sit here, we're going to come into our cow face pose. So crossing, actually you might find it easier to get into it from all fours. So starting on all fours in your tabletop, let's just draw the right knee into the center between both hands and walk the foot out to the side. And then we're going to just draw that left knee directly behind the right, letting both feet come out to the side, and then sitting back. And you might want to grab a block to sit on or lower yourself down. And then just see, can you sit with your feet in a nice straight line with each other and one knee over the other. Sitting up nice and tall. This pose is really great for helping you find that length in the spine. And then drawing the left hand behind. Hi there, sorry for interrupting your practice, and I do hope you're enjoying it. If you are enjoying it, you might like to consider becoming a patron. For just €5 a month, we send you 3 new practices every week directly to your inbox and completely ad-free. To find out more, just Google Love Doing Yoga Patreon. Namaste. Behind your back so that it goes between your shoulder blades, and bring the right hand up to point towards it, or if you can clasp the left hand with the right, do. Sitting up tall. And 3 more breaths here. Going to that victorious breath as you exhale, trying to keep that exhale nice and long. And then releasing the hands and swinging, releasing the legs, swinging around once again onto all fours. Let's take that to the other side as we again bring the left knee into the center between the 2 hands. Walk that left foot across in front of your right thigh. And then draw the right knee in behind that left and sit down. And then you can just let those feet come out into a parallel line with each other. So you'll find it hard to have equal weight on both seat bones, but as much as possible, we want to try and encourage this left seat bone towards the mat. Sitting up tall once again, you'll really feel it in your spine here. You'll feel how erect you are in this pose. And then taking the right hand, drawing it behind, between your shoulder blades, and bringing the left hand up to meet it. Encouraging that right elbow. So if you struggle with this, just use the left hand to encourage that right elbow up towards your ear a little bit. And by all means, put something, a block or something underneath you to sit on as we take 3 more breaths here. And again, just encouraging your exhale to be longer than your inhale. And taking a nice pause between the inhale and the exhale. And once again, releasing those hands, releasing the legs. Just let the feet come either side of the mat, keeping the knees bent with your hands behind you, and just let the knees fall over to the right and then to the left, letting the cheek come up away from the mat as you just ease out the hips and legs. And then coming to stillness, letting the feet point out to the side. We're going to come into a squat. So if you want to have a block, do that you can sit on. So lifting yourself up, knees out, elbows pressed against the knees and palms together. Lengthen the spine here. So if you struggle with this, you can always use a block to just rest on. But wherever you are, and you can have your heels up off the mat, but whatever position you're in, have that length in the spine. We really want to encourage the spine to stay long in this, and we don't want to compromise it just to get a little bit deeper. Better to be higher up with a longer spine. And 2 more breaths here. As you exhale, thinking about drawing up your pelvic floor, belly button in and up. And then letting the hands come behind you. We're going to come out to sit. So sitting with those legs out nice and long. Feet flexed, toes pointing up to the ceiling. Again, if you find this uncomfortable, and a lot of people find sitting like this uncomfortable, you can always bend your knees a little bit, because what we really want to do is keep that equal weight in both seat bones, ears over the shoulders, shoulders over the hips, feeling space and length come into your spine. And let's take 4 more breaths here. With each breath, as you inhale, feel that length and openness come to your spine. And as you exhale, just ease into that newfound space. On that exhale, drawing up the pelvic floor, belly button in and up, to just help engage the core. Keeping the jaw soft and the shoulders soft. And then from here, we're going to come into a forward fold. So bend your knees, fold, hinging at the hips, letting your lower rib cage come in contact with your thighs as you come into your forward fold. And then you can begin to open the legs out a little bit more if you feel like it, but keep that connection with your rib cage and your thighs. And again, just note where you are in your fold, and then closing your eyes. We're going to take 6 breaths here. And with each breath, just see, can you get a millimeter deeper into your fold? So if you take note of where you're at now, you might be able to see the progress you can make just by encouraging that breath to help you get a little deeper. Inhaling, lengthening, and exhaling, deepening. Inhaling, lengthening, and exhaling, deepening. Lengthen and deepen. One more breath. And then staying where you are, just open your eyes and see, have you managed to get a little bit deeper into that fold? Just by connecting with your breath. And slowly, when you're ready, making your way back up to sit as we bring ourselves back into our squat. So feet pointing outwards and drawing yourself up into the squat, pressing those elbows against the knees, knees against the elbows, lengthening through the spine. And again, engaging that core, lifting the pelvic floor, belly button in and up. Softening the jaw, softening the shoulders, lengthening the spine. And then letting the hands come down onto the mat. We're going to make our way up into a forward fold. Heel toeing the feet together until the toes are touching and the heels are a little apart. Taking 2 more breaths here. And again, seeing, can you get a little deeper into your forward fold. And then bring the hands either side of your foot, be up on your fingertips. And bend the knees, lower the hips, keeping the knees as much as possible over the ankles. Keeping the legs exactly as they are, just begin to raise the torso up, drawing the arms up past your ears into your chair pose. Well done if you're here. And now engaging the core, drawing up that pelvic floor, belly button in and up. Let's once again return to the breath. Two more breaths. Drawing the hands together in prayer, elbows opposite each other. We're going to take a little twist to the right, letting that left elbow come against the right leg and just having those shoulders stack on top of each other. So your chest is looking straight out from the long side of the mat. One more breath here. And letting the body come to the center, hands onto the mat as you just bring it into a forward fold once again. Two more breaths.
And then once again, coming into your chair, lowering your hips, bending those knees, palms together. Take a twist this time to the left. Trying to stack those shoulders on top of each other. 2 more breaths here. And then coming back through the center this time. Once again, keeping the legs as they are, lifting up into your chair pose. Letting the core help you here, drawing up the pelvic floor, belly button in and up. 1 more breath. And then straightening the legs up, letting the hands come down by your sides. And stepping to the top of the mat, let the feet come to hip width apart. And from here, just checking in with your own alignment. Ears over shoulders, shoulders over hips. Turning the palms outwards to look towards the front of your body. Now we're going to run through a sun salute on each side. Let's take a breath in between each move. So raising the arms up, palms together, raise the gaze. Let's take a breath. Then sweeping the arms out to the side to come into your forward fold, bending your knees as much as you need to get that connection between your rib cage and your thighs. Take a breath. Lengthening the spine, either halfway lift or just drawing that body away from the thighs to lengthen the spine. And back into your forward fold for a breath. Let's step the right leg back and come into your low lunge. As you come into the lunge, just checking in with your shoulders that they're soft, with your jaw, that it's relaxed. Your choice, looking straight in front or up towards the ceiling. And let's move it through to our plank. Getting yourself into your position, engaging the core, a little softness in the elbows, and taking a breath. Then coming down on your knees, feet, chest, belly, and lifting the forehead and the chest away from the mat, taking a breath. Then pushing on up through your tabletop, just adjusting your hands, curling those toes, pushing the hips back to the heels and lifting up into your downward dog. As you then pedal those legs nice and slowly, stretching out the backs of your legs and then coming to stillness as we take our breath here. And stretching your right leg out behind you. Stepping it through, helping it along the way to come into your low lunge on this side. Just checking in with your form that your knee is over that ankle. Then up into your forward fold for a breath. Bending the knees, coming all the way up, palms together. Raise the gaze, take a breath. And forward fold once again. Lengthening through the spine or halfway lift. And forward fold again. Let's step that left leg back and come into your low lunge on this side. Keeping your awareness on your pelvic floor, that you keep it raised, belly button in and up. So you've got a nice engaged core as we flow from our low lunge into our plank. And then coming down on your knees, feet, chest and belly, and lifting the forehead and chest away from the mat. Very light with your hands so that the effort here is from your core and in particular your back muscles. And then from here, pushing on up through your tabletop into your downward dog. Checking in with the shoulders, that they're away from the ears, gaze towards the belly button. And then stretching that left leg back and step it through for your low lunge. And of course, anytime you have your arms up, just check that they're running past your ears and you haven't fallen into the trap of having the arms a little bit in front of you, which rounds the shoulders. So we want to keep them up past the ears and through to your forward fold. And bending the knees, coming all the way up and bringing the hands down into prayer at the chest. Good. Taking a breath here. And coming into a forward fold, letting the hands come down onto the mat. We're going to step back into our downward dog. And then from here, just begin to lower the forearms down onto the mat. And then let your attention go to your heels as you inhale up onto your toes and exhale, letting those heels just move a little closer to the mat. One more breath here. And then bending the knees, open out the feet and come back into a nice resting pose, whichever version of child's pose you like best. One more breath here. And then making your way up to stand once again. Standing up tall, checking in with the feet. Equal weight on both feet. Feet pointing towards the front of the mat. Bringing your hands onto your hips, just turning that left foot out at a right angle. And let's come into our tree pose. So lifting that left foot up either onto your calf, or if you prefer, you can lift it onto your thigh. Find a gaze point. Recruit the core. Lifting the pelvic floor, belly button in and up. Maybe you want to raise the arms up. Keeping that knee, that left knee at a right angle to your right knee. Two more breaths here. Keeping a softness in the shoulders and the jaws. And then when you're ready, with the enormous control I know you have, come back to standing. And let's take that to the other side. Well done if you managed to keep your balance for all of that time. And if you didn't, there's no shame in that. As long as you just keep trying to get it for another millisecond longer. Let's take it to the other side, turning the right foot to the right, so it's at a right angle, and then lifting the foot up onto the calf, or if you prefer, onto the thigh, whichever works for you, just keeping it clear of your knee, wherever it is, pressing the foot into the thigh. And the thigh into the foot can sometimes just help you to secure that balance a little more. Engaging the core, lifting the pelvic floor, belly button in and up. Finding a gaze point and keeping that gaze nice and soft. And letting your focus be now on your breath. That nice victorious breath. Allowing yourself to have those lovely long exhales. One more breath. And then releasing the foot to let it come down. And from here, let's just come long ways on the mat, opening the legs out, nice and wide, about 3 hips width, and then swiveling on this right foot, letting it come to the front, bending this right knee so it's over the ankle, and with your left foot, just turning it inwards slightly. Your body is looking out the long side of the mat, bringing those arms into a T, and then looking with your head out over your right hand. Engaging the core, lifting the pelvic floor, belly button in and up. Being aware of your right knee, that it is staying over your ankle. Putting a little bit of weight in the outside edge of that back foot. Soften the shoulders, soften the jaw. One more breath here. And then let's reach forward with this right hand and windmill down into your triangle. So gaze and chest looking up towards the ceiling. If you want to bring straightness into this right leg, do. Just remember, we want to keep a softness in the knees, so we don't want them locking. 2 more breaths here. Then letting this left hand come down, we're going to frame this right foot, and with the left foot just step it across, so now your feet are hip width apart. And coming down onto the knee of that left foot, let's come up into our low lunge. Just challenging yourself by letting this left knee go as far back as you can, so you get a really nice stretch in the quad and a great extension of that hip. Raising the arms, let's take 3 breaths here. Soften the shoulders, soften the jaw, engaging that core. And then bringing the hands down to frame the foot once more. Let's just come up into our warrior 1. So you're coming up to have that left foot flat on the mat. This right knee is bent over the right ankle, lifting the torso up, square up your hips, keeping that back heel connected with the mat. If you feel a bit wobbly, widen the stance. And then raising those arms up past your ears, looking in front. As you exhale here, feel your whole breath running down the back of your left leg. Just helping it to stretch out. And then bringing the arms out into a T. We're going to step this left foot across so that the heels are in line with each other, and rotate the body around to the long side of the mat with the gaze out over that right hand once again. Softening the shoulders and the jaw, engaging the core. 1 more breath here. And bringing the hands onto the hips, stepping up to the top of the mat. Good, well done. So let's take that on the other side. I'm gonna just turn around so I'm going on the other leg. So open the legs out once again, about 3 hip widths apart. And this time we're swiveling on the left foot, turning that right foot inwards slightly, bending this left knee, a little bit of weight in the outside edge of that right foot. And your arms in a T, with your body facing the long side of the mat, turning the gaze out over that left hand. Release your jaw, release your shoulders, engage your core, and breathe a little weight into the outside edge of that back foot. One more breath. Then reaching forward with the left hand as we windmill down out of our warrior two into our triangle. Again, going with your own choice here of how you want that left leg bent, straight, or somewhere in between. And your chest and your gaze looking upwards, so you're in a lovely straight line from one hand through to the other. Once again, keeping that core engaged. One more breath. And then drawing that right hand down, framing the left foot, swiveling on that right foot, bending the right knee down to come into your low lunge. Again, just being conscious of challenging yourself a little bit to get that extra stretch as you rise up into your low lunge. One more breath here. And once again, framing the foot as we lift up into our warrior one, letting that right foot come firmly onto the mat. Bending this left knee as you raise the torso up. And then raising the arms up past your ears. And again, squaring up the hips, softening the shoulders and the jaw, lifting the pelvic floor. 3 more breaths here. Bringing those arms out into a T, stepping that right foot across so the heels are lined up, and then rotating the body back to your warrior two. Gaze over those left fingers. One more breath. And bringing the hands onto the hips, heel toeing the feet together and come to the top of the mat. Raising those arms up, sweep them out to the side into your forward fold, taking a breath. And halfway lift. And forward fold. Stepping that right leg back, low lunge. And through to your plank. Coming down on your knees and feet, chest and belly, elbows in as you lift into your back bend. And pushing on up to your downward dog. Bringing that right leg up to the top of the mat for your low lunge. And then through to your forward fold. Bending the knees all the way up. Take a breath. And last time, forward fold. Halfway lift, lengthening through your spine. And forward fold. Stepping the left leg back this time for your low lunge. And through to your plank. Coming down on your knees and feet. Chest and belly into your back bend. And pushing on up to your downward dog. Let's get that left leg now up to the top for your low lunge. And through to your forward fold. Bending the knees, coming all the way up to stand, bringing those hands into prayer and taking a breath. And hopefully your body is feeling fully revived after all of that work, but let's give it a chance to totally absorb that and really re-energize you by taking a few minutes in Shavasana. So slowly just making your way down onto the mat, lowering yourself down to bring yourself to lie. Letting the feet flop out to the side and the palms face up to the ceiling. As you completely relax and let go. Letting go your toes, soles of your feet, the tops of your feet. Letting go your heels and your ankles, your calves and your shins. Letting go the backs of your knees and the fronts of your knees. The backs of your thighs and the fronts of your thighs. Letting go your glutes and your whole pelvic area. Letting go the small of your back, the back of your rib cage, your shoulder blades. Letting go your belly, the front of your rib cage, your chest and shoulders. Letting go your armpits, upper arms, elbows, forearms, wrists, backs of your hands, palms of your hands, and your fingers. Letting go the back of your head, the crown of your head, your forehead, eyebrows, eyes, cheeks, jaws, chin, lips, and tongue. The whole of your body, just let it go. The whole of your body, let it go. And finding gratitude for yourself here. Gratitude for your ability to revive yourself through your own body and breath. And gratitude for all that is good in your life today. And let your attention go to your breath. As you inhale through your nose into your belly and exhale through your nose. And begin to connect with your inner self here, your true nature. And imagine you're walking in a forest. Noticing the smells and the sounds. Find a nice tree that you admire. Feel its bark. Look up at its branches and leaves. Look down at its roots, spreading out. Find a place to sit up against the tree. Feeling it support you. Feeling at one with it. Noticing how connected you are to the tree, to nature, to the universe. And spend a little time here.